Today's Bitcoin price analysis is going to be completely off the whim. And there's going to be no editing whatsoever today, and I'm just going to jump straight in. So, hello and welcome to this video. My name is David Dawn. You are watching David's videos. Today is the 19th of April 2024. It's currently 2:36 Central Eastern or Central European time. Let's jump straight over to the normal things that I do. The fear and greed index today is on 66, showing greed. Yesterday was on 57, so there's been a little bit more greed in the market. The other CNN business fear and greed index is on 33. Yesterday was on 34, so there's even more fear in the market. And what I like looking at as well, to be honest with you, is this market volatility, this VIX and its 50-day moving average. And you can see it's still increasing. And so the VIX measures expected price fluctuations or volatility in the S&P 500 index options over the next 30 days. The VIX often drops on days when the broader markets rallies and soars when stocks plunge. But the key is to look at the VIX over time. It tends to be lower in bull markets, so lower in bull markets, and higher when the bears are in control. So we can see that the bears are in control, apparently. So we can see that there is market volatility and we're expecting lower prices. So now then the Bitcoin halving 2024, we are now on 10 hours. So let's just say it, 0 days, 10 hours, 53 minutes and 32 seconds. So that's going to take us to approximately 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. So it's literally going to be the 20th of April when this happens. Now, let's keep on going before we talk about the halving. The Bitcoin season is at 37, or the altcoin season index is at 37. And as we've seen over the past week or so, the altcoins have been absolutely hammered. Some of them come back up again. But anyway, we can see that Bitcoin is still very, very much dominant with this. Like I said, my name is David Dawn. You are watching David's videos. And I do make lots of other videos as well. So as you can see here, there's a whole different array of types of videos that I make. So if you do see any of my videos in the future, and they're not about Bitcoin, you're not interested, I'm not going to be offended if you just literally just scroll on and just ignore them. All right. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. It's all right. All of my other videos relative to Bitcoin all start with BTC and are all located in this playlist. So if you want to go back and check out any of the other videos that I've made on a daily basis, sometimes I've made more than once. Otherwise, they are all annotated with the dates, how much change the price went, the open and close price as well. So you can go and see, okay, what did David say on this one day? What was his opinion? And over the past 4 or 5 days, I've been making the videos a little bit later in the day to let the European market and the London market, even though London is European market, is basically play out to see how they go. Because I've seen around about 12 o'clock or something was a nice time to start making the videos. Now, today I wanted to see this, let's go out to here. I wanted to see this sidewards motion. Where are we now? Yeah, sorry. I wanted to see there was a lot of sideways motion this morning. What was that at 8:50? Yeah, it went up and down, up and down. It did this consolidation, and it kind of still is consolidating at the moment. So we're now on 2:30, 20 to 3. So it tends to start getting interesting around about 3 o'clock, 10 past 3. Now, in the previous runs, it was getting interesting. Let's go back. Let's go back to say when it was pumping all the time. It was okay, it was like here, was pumping at 1 o'clock, and then it would pump again at, anyway, there was a pattern that it was pumping at around about 7:30 in the morning all the time. But obviously, since we've been gone sideways for a long time, that pattern has gone. Now, let's just dive into this a little bit. We've done lots of sideways motion. We've talked about, if you go back and check it, we've literally gone sideways for a month or something. So if you're new to these videos, and you haven't seen them before, then, and you're new to Bitcoin, I just want to warn you, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional trader. I literally do this every single day because I'm heavily invested into Bitcoin. And sorry if you've heard this a whole bunch of times. If you have watched my videos that many times, thank you very much for continuously to watch them. So I invested into, I invested into Bitcoin. Well, that's an arrow. Let's just delete that. I invested into Bitcoin around December 2021. Now, we obviously then saw the market go down, dump. I was crying nearly every day. That's a joke, but it wasn't nice every single day. And then we kind of watched the market go up. So if you are new to Bitcoin and thinking about to get into Bitcoin right now, if you got into Bitcoin today, then the likelihood is you're going to play the same game that I played 2 years ago, right? But there is also a likelihood is that you're going to not play the game and it is going to go all the way up. This is your decision. Whether you want to take a gamble or not is your decision. But what I would say to you is don't play that game. Play another game, all right? So buy in today, buy in tomorrow, buy in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on. Keep buying in small increments. So let's say you have $5,000, right? Or 5,000, whatever currency you've got, and you want to invest it all. My advice would be to say, cut it down into smaller portions and have like 2 pieces the same size, then have one a big size, right? And take these two 20%, let's call them 20% here and 20% here, and then 40% here, right? And then the final 20% is then for just having leftover just in case funds, right? For another rainy day in the future. You never know. And put some 20% in slowly now. And then if it moves again, put the other 20% in. And if you see which market, if you see which way the market is moving, right? If you see the market's moving up, put the 20% in. Wait for some form of small correction, put the other 20% in. And then when you see it consolidate for a long time, then put the 40% in. Okay, but you've still got this 20% left over just in case it dumps really badly. Then you can put the 20% in. But this is completely your thing, you know. Is how you get that money in is your plan. But you know, you keep the bulk of the money out. So at least if you put 20% in incrementally and then the 40% in when you're nearly positively sure that it's hit the bottom and the whole world is saying it's the bottom, that's where you would start putting the 40% in gradually, right? And you've still got 20% left over just in case all the time for if it goes down even further. But I'm sure there's a financial advisor out there that could tell you completely different. And I would advise talking to that one person as well, because they know what they're talking about. And I just try and learn every single day. Anyway, so what can we see right now? We can see that the price has hit this target down here around about the 56,000. And just for the sake of it today, come on, people, it's been on the dollars, and I'm just going to randomly draw around 60,500, approximately that. So we can see that we've consolidated as at a bottom around about here. So if we're going to push up the price of Bitcoin over the course of today, tomorrow, and Monday, I mean, we see. Sorry, today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, is probably going to take, like, say, 3-4 days to push through. Because even when you look back here, it over 3 days, it went up 18%, right? And let's draw this in and see what that actually did. So even if it does this here, well, we're talking about 68,000, and then we're probably going to see some correction come back down again to test this upper zone. So I can't see the price of Bitcoin changing a huge amount over the course of the weekend, right? It might come up and get to 66, unless there are some absolute crazy candles going to happen. You know, like let's say one candle happens, and then two candle happens, and then three candle happens over 3 days. That would take us to 73% euros, 73,000. But then I would expect a crazy candle coming down, a not so crazy candle coming down, and so on. So we could come back to 65,000. So really, we'd want to see like normal candles going up slowly to test this one top again. Because the more times we test this top, the more chance there are that the sellers are finished selling, and then the only sellers available are up here. So we'll only see. So let's move in again to see what the 4-hour chart says, 4-hour time frame says. We had this boost up through the night. There were some problems again, people talking about stuff. I'm not getting into it. It's geopolitical stuff. But you can see Bitcoin, it dumped down a little bit and then just came back again. It hardly flinched. Everything else did it. Gold did that. Silver did it. The crude oil did it, and so on. Everything got a little bit shocked during the night. So let's just wipe it out as saying it's just one of them things. Now, we saw at 8 o'clock in the morning, we had a bit of a pump. Was this then the German market saying, hey, I'm going to get on it? And then we've had like this nothingness with this slight move up over the course of the day. And now we're getting this next possible surge going up. But we've had an hour's worth of surge coming up and then snap back down again 1, 2, 3, 4 times already. So what's saying that this candle is any different? Well, 13 minutes is what's saying. So let's move into the 30-minute chart. And we can see that the first 30-minute chart has said, okay, it's doing something different. But we now got to go into the 15-minute to see what that says. Well, we saw a 15-minute, but then it tanked back down again. It said, okay, fine, I'm not going to even go below. The wick didn't even go below the open of that candle. And then we saw it move up again, making a new higher here, close. And even the wick went higher than this previous down candle. And then we've got a smaller one. So really now what we're looking for is this candle here to at least close above this downward candle and to wick above it as well. So we'd want to see a push up over the next 12 minutes to show it's got strength. And it does maybe look like it's got strength to go. So if it doesn't have strength, then obviously it would need to wick below this wick here. So we're saying that it would need to place a wick beneath this line and then close, say, somewhere down here to show weakness. But right now it's already had a wick above the opening of this one candle. So we see there is some form of strength. So let's go into the 5-minute candles to have a look. And we can see that it has got some strength over this 5 minutes, and it's showing even more strength now. But the volume isn't there like the blue one. We need to see this go blue, and then if there's real volume, we need to see it go green. So we need to see over the next 30 seconds that it stays this more solid candle. You know, the smaller the wick on the top, the better. And we've got a small wick on the bottom. So it is a strong-ish candle. And this is the type of recipe. This is an ingredient that we need to bake a big move, a big push-through candle. We've got first candle. This could be deemed as the first candle. And if it closes now, 3, 2, 1, close. Strong candle, tiny, tiny wick. We would expect this one now to go boom to blue. I'd say this should go green to grey, grey to blue, blue to green. Or it's just going to zip straight back down again. But really, to see this price move, we don't want to see a lower wick, right? We want to see a power to come and hit this, take this wick out, right? Right now, we're obviously it looks like we're going to get a little bit of a wick. So let's see where the 50% mark on this one would be, just to plot it out. So let's say that we at least get a 50% retracement. To be fair, we're using rationality. We're looking for the market to go in both directions. Does this have the power to push up right now, or is it just another fake out and I'm going to go sideways? Are we waiting for the American markets to come in? Are we waiting for the likes of BlackRock and Grayscale or whatever? are we waiting for Grayscale and BlackRock to come in at 3:30? You won't see that in this video, but this is what I'm looking for. And right now, we'll possibly see a weaker candle. Now, we've still got 3 minutes and 38 seconds left on that. So let's jump into the 1 minute time frames. And we saw that green candle. We saw some volume there, snap back again, but not a lot of volume. So really, it doesn't have any volume here. And if we can see this turn into a grayish candle, we see the volume. But right now it's on this one line. We could probably move this line down to this green one and even to here as well, because we see there's possible buyers here between this small little range here. So as long as we don't see the candle go beneath that, then it's fine. Or it just goes immediately maroon, which shows it's got volume. But there was some buying power. We went straight away to grey. So the amount of volume that there is, it has increased. So, but right now, we saw it come up. It couldn't make, well, it did. Let's zoom back out again. So the positive that we have seen here so far is that it did manage to come up a little bit, right? It hasn't managed to break this trend high, let's call it. But it's looking positive. We're seeing the volume coming in now. We saw the green here, the purple there, one green here, but there wasn't really any higher volume there. There was a little bit higher than average volume, but we saw lots of light green candles, light red candles, maroon candles. We've seen the selling pressure here, but the selling pressure is weakening. It seems to be moving up all the time, but the volume isn't there. Okay, we see these two blue candles. We're seeing the volume has increased and coming back down again. But this is just saying, hey, the sellers have moved their offers up a little bit higher, right? So now all we're concerned about is are they going to move up even higher, and are the buyers going to keep pushing this up, and are we going to see another breakout to higher highs, right? And when I say to higher highs, we've still got, I mean, there's a long way to go. We need real volume. We need real power to get through this. Or we could also argue that in this one candle here, there's limited liquidity, right? So this candle here could also be said to have limited liquidity because it was relatively big. So, but right now it's finding it very difficult to push through this one candle, this candle body. So we can say that there is a good amount of selling here. So we know that there are sellers in this one range. Whether or not there's enough buyers to push this through. Now, we don't really need a lot of buyers to push this through. We just need the sellers to come up to here. And then once the sellers have come up to there, we need them then to want to come up to here. And then when we get to this red candle, we see there's lots of volume in this red candle. We want to see the sellers come to here. But this definitely needs the American market to open, to add that extra push, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave this here because we could sit here for half an hour or 36 minutes talking about this. But right now, the market is the master, and what is the market telling us? This is the question. Let's dump all these lines. Let's try and see what the market is telling us. The market is still telling us that it's going sideways, okay? Because we've seen it for at least 30 days now. All of the exponential moving averages, I've just made a range going up and down, up and down. So we can't assume that it's going up. We can only assume that it's coming to meet the other range to be then rejected to come back down again. If that doesn't happen, then we then got another set of questions to answer when it goes above. But let's just assume that it's going to go up and then come back down again. Then we then need to start asking the questions, well, if it does come back down again, are we going to see it break through this one zone? Does the Bitcoin halving have enough sentiment to bring the momentum that's needed to force it up? Or have we been buying the rumor And are they going to sell the news? And think of this now, right? Is that none of the London stock market, the European stock market, is if they have access to the spot ETFs for any of the cryptocurrencies or any of the funds that are directly linked to cryptocurrencies or directly linked to Bitcoin, when European markets close, both the Frankfurt and also the London stock market, that money's now locked. That money's now gone until Monday morning, which leaves then only the American markets. And then later on this evening, we don't have the Asian markets. We don't have the Australian market. We don't have that because that's all closed. So we know that the final chance to buy into Bitcoin, if this is going to explode over the weekend, right? And let's just assume that the price of Bitcoin will absolutely explode up here with retail, with the whales or whoever's got the money. So let's just say that it absolutely explodes up here, and the likes of the banks or the institutions or whatever that have got access to the spot ETFs, they don't jump in today. Then they've missed out, right? But are they all sat there waiting for who is going to go first? And right now, we look on the 4-hour time frame. We've seen a little bit of volume here. We've seen a little bit of volume here. We haven't seen lots and lots of volume today, right? We've seen a little bit of a drop, but really, if the big people with lots of money, with hundreds of millions, billions as well, if they're going to get in, they need to see, I'm guessing, lower prices. So are we, over the course of the next 2 hours, going to see the price tank down here? And are the buyers down here, right? Are all the buyers here? And is this going to be the catalyst that pushes it up? Or are the buyers here? Or are we going to see the buyers push this up gradually over the course? I mean, this, sorry, but to be a pessimist here, but I'm literally just looking at all of the angles. We've got this candle here closes at 6 o'clock. This is the London markets closed. So we're talking about like 60,000. Let's say that this candle can do 4,000, which is doable, right? It's doable in 2 hours. That's definitely doable. We've seen it done in this candle here. We've seen it done in this candle here. We've seen it done here. So let's just assume that it can do 4,000, right? That takes us to 6 o'clock, let's just say. Now, let's just assume that the London, oh dear. Let's just assume now that the American market also does, what have we got here? 569. Let's assume that they do 4,002, right? And that's it. That's both markets closed now. So we need both markets to do 4,000 each. And then the weekend, you've got all the retail traders jump in because you're going to get FOMO galore around here if that happens come this evening. And I would guess that come the weekend, you could get 8,000 probably on Saturday. And then you could get Sunday's worth of people of say, let's say 2,000. That FOMO runs out. Now, if the London market, the American market have all bought down here, or they've all bought down here, or they all bought down here, all bought down here, and it goes up 46% in the space of the weekend, what are they going to do with that money? They are all going to sell, and it's just going to tank back down again. So it's unhealthy. So really, this is a completely unhealthy scenario for it just to pump up like this. Everyone will make money, but all these people in here will never come into Bitcoin ever again if they lost all their money in the space of less than 36 hours. So I think that the smart money is being smart because they don't want to scare off the retail traders. And they need the retail traders to come in if they're going to make, because Bitcoin needs to be used by everyone. So there's no point the institutional traders coming in if the normal people are not going to get on the back of this as well. If it's only the institutions getting on it, then why don't they just go into gold? Because gold is going up anyway, and that will give them the return that they need. And right now, Bitcoin hasn't really moved, hasn't done anything, but gold has done something. Over the course of here March, it's gone up 12%, right? At least it's moved over that time, and Bitcoin's gone sideways. So gold shows that it is gold and it can do this. The S&P 500 has also gone up, but it's come down again. So what are these big investors waiting for? And this is what really interests me: is what are they waiting for now? Because they don't seem to be there. Someone is playing ping pong with this, and they've got enough money to move it up, move it back down again, to consolidate so much money. And is this the ETFs passing the money backwards and forwards to each other because no retail traders or no other people are in? So this what worries me a little bit. And even after I've talked on for another 15 minutes or whatever, we've seen. Let's look at the 1 minute market once again, 1 minute time frame. We've seen it dump down here, and we're looking at it possibly coming back down again to test these lows. So I've got to be realistic, and I want to be wrong, right? Don't get me wrong. I want to be wrong. I want Bitcoin to explode over the course of the 12 months, right? This is what I want. But I don't see this happening, right? And I've got to be honest with you, I was completely wrong last time, right? And it did cost me nearly a lot of money. But because I kept to my other, it nearly did cost me a lot of money, and it cost me some sleep as well. But I did my due diligence. And this bit here, if you listen to my videos, I said it's not going to go up, it's going to tank down. It didn't, it went up again. And here, I said it's going to go down again, right? And it didn't, it went up. And here I said, oh, it's going to go down again, and it didn't. And here I said it's going to go down again, and it didn't. So at one point, you've got to think about, when is this going to go up, and is this going to happen again? And you have to understand my skepticism in this, because it's all well and good. When we look at the other side of it, we saw it loop over here and then come down again. So we've seen this consolidation already. We've seen this one happen. And is this the spike going down before? And this wasn't a halving there. So is this the different thing? And you go back to the halving before, and it had a spike then going up. But this is the area. I would like to see it go up, but I just don't want to be. I don't like to be fooled by stuff, because you have all this hope that everything's going to go up, and I think lots of people have been fooled by this, the halving. History does repeat, but at one point it doesn't repeat. Things do change. It's like watching a football game and saying that right now, Bayer Leverkusen, the German champions, they just won the league. They've won 12 games in a row. It could be 11, or 12 games in a row, and they haven't lost a game. I think it's 43 games now. They haven't lost a game for 43 games now. And at one point, this has got to end. Everything comes to an end. Just because it was like that last week or 2 weeks ago doesn't mean to say it's like that next week, and so on. Every cycle always ends. That's why it's called a cycle. Otherwise, it would just be a consistency. So I'm going to leave it at this. I hope that we see something different. I do. And I think it would be refreshing to see it come down to prove everyone wrong. And at least it would bring cheaper Bitcoin. And it would show, hey, everyone said that there should be a dip before the halving. Well, okay, there's been a all-time new high before the halving, but this is also a dip. That's also a dip. So they're saying there should be a dip before the halving. That is a dip. It's not a big dip, but it is a dip. Anyway, with that said, I'm now going to say goodbye because it's 7 minutes past 3. My wife is coming home in a second, and I will see you in tomorrow's video, and hopefully something happens during the night. Okay, see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.